Hi, welcome to This Week on Ginger Snapshots. Hey, this week I want to talk to you about giving you just some tips on taking pictures of your newborn in your home. And I don't mean to take these pictures in place of getting professional newborn, because I believe with all my heart, or else I wouldn't be doing this, that it's well worth the investment. There is some things that professional photographers have learned, and the quality is going to be better, especially if you're using a cell phone. But I think it's great to do pictures at home to supplement those pictures. And even if you could get to a professional photographer, having something is better than nothing. So these are just some ideas for you to take pictures in your home. And I also believe that, with all of my heart, the baby is changing so much in that first month that take a picture every day, take a picture every week. It's just so wonderful to be able to document that baby's life, the changes, and there's just so many different things going on with that baby. So, well, today we'll talk about the angle of the light source, and maybe some ideas of how you can use that. So I shoot with a strobe in my studio. I do have friends that are natural light photographers, and they have a large studio with natural light coming in, and they do beautiful work. And when you look at their pictures and you look at my pictures, you would have a hard time to be able to say one's natural light and one studio light. If you just learn to do either one. I just have chosen to do strobe, and the studio that we built, we have two small windows in the front, but they do not serve for me to take pictures with. And then, like I mentioned before, I just prefer the strobes. So for my light source, I have two large PLM umbrellas, shoot-through umbrella. One is 86 inches and one is 64 inches, so that is a large light source. And because it's in that large diffuser, it creates a soft light. And because it's large, so it mimics what I have, mimics what I'm helping you to learn to do. So what you want is a large window. And if you can, you want some nice white sheer curtains in front of it. So here in the studio, this is a white sheet with a sheer curtain over it, and what I actually use this for is my backlighting images. It's on a wire that I can roll it out of the way, and then I have my nice gray backdrop behind me. But for me, what I have is a strobe, a white wall behind here. So I have my strobe pointed at a white wall, and when I hit the flash, it bounces back off of that white wall and creates a light. So that's what works for my backlighting, because that's just one of the things I love. So that serves as the same thing as what I would use when I'm on the posing table. So if you can, you wouldn't want to use like green curtains. You would want to try to have even a white sheet, because this is all that is right underneath here. Well, this is actually a white. But here, this one here is a sheet and then a sheer curtain. You can pick up a sheer curtain for $10 at Walmart. So that will diffuse the light. And what that means is that makes the light softer. So you want to get the light bright enough that it's coming in, but you also want to soften it so that there's not harsh shadows on the baby. You want to have the light as big and as soft as you possibly can. You also want to be able to turn off the overhead lights, because the color temperature is a little bit different. They make they're really improving on light bulbs, and now you can seem to get some LED lights, and you might be able to find some LED lights that are actually daylight balanced. The light that I have on me is a daylight balanced light bulb that I bought. It's a professional light bulb, but you could try some cheap ones as well. If you cannot get to a window, that's what you want to try to do, is get some daylight balance. But something that softens it. If you could hang a curtain in front of it, but what you're wanting is a large, soft light. Now, if you use lights in the house, what happens is normally they're a different color. They're a yellow. And so then you take the picture. If you haven't adjusted your white balance on your color, on your camera, or that a lot of times the little phone settings will let you say you're taking it indoor, outdoor, and that's why, because the lights are different color inside. If you don't change that white balance, and I've even done that when I've forgotten to do that on my videos, and then my face is like just so yellow. And so then you're having to do color adjustments afterwards, and you don't want to mess with that if you can help it. So if if you can help it, you just want to turn those lights off. Overhead lights also create shadows, like for especially somebody like me that wears glasses. I notice it a lot because I get that, you know, that line from my glasses in my eyes, or it kind of creates a shadow in my eyes. You don't see my eyes as well. So if you can, you want to have the large window, diffuse it, and all the other lights off. So that's the biggest thing. And then the other thing would be the angle of the light and the angle of what the picture you're taking. So probably a lot of mothers have a boppy. This is just a brand new boppy that I've bought. It works good. You could use some rolled up towels on the ground, on a blanket or something. The idea is that you want to have the baby's head elevated higher than the body. And you also want to be able to angle this to where the baby's head is tilted just a little bit. And that idea is just so that you're shooting the angle. The light is going to come down this way and your camera is going to come this way. Because as I said a million times, you don't want to shoot to where all you're seeing is nose holes. You want to see the baby's face. So if you have a boppy, then you would want to just, and the boppy is perfect because it just kind of cradles the baby. You just fit in a little hole and it angles the baby just right. Also, if your baby is asleep and might wake up because they have like little sleep reactions and things like that, you might want to do a wrap, a swaddle wrap. I don't think I'm going to show you that today, but you could easily put the baby in a swaddle, or if you have a cute little outfit, maybe a lacy little outfit, something. It really doesn't matter, however you want to do that and what you've got to work with. So for the boppy pillow, maybe if you have a furry blanket, furry rug, anything you can just throw over it so that you're not actually seeing that it's a boppy. And I've got this little white rug here. And so see, you just put that baby inside of there. And if you see it, just the baby goes down in there nice, and so it would work perfect. I haven't actually used the boppy in the studio because I have so much other equipment, but I do know the people that take hospital pictures, a lot of times they use boppies, and so it does work. And I do have a boppy, especially for taking the newborns with their sibling, because it just kind of helps keep baby's head and sibling's head up. Okay, so the idea was if the light is coming right here, you want the baby's head, the top of the head, facing the light. And if you can, you want to turn it at a slight angle. So where the light is coming down the baby's face at an angle, like at a triangle. So maybe there might be a little bit of a shadow on this cheek over here. You know, like the light would be coming down. And like I said, you want to try to get the chin down so that you're actually capturing the face and not the neck and the nose. So you would just make sure to do that. And maybe if the boppy's just not quite right, all you got to do is take some a little washcloth, rolled it up, and just put it under there until you get the baby just right. And then when you actually are taking the picture, you want to actually come down like this and shoot at this angle as much as you can, just because it makes a beautiful picture that way. You can also come from the side. And now this is something I do in the studio. I turn the baby to the side, and if you do this just right, you get down just right at the right angle from the side, just really low like that, you can get a nice profile, and that light comes and it's a nice backlit image. And I think I just think they're beautiful to get the little profile and the little side of the face. So I think I've covered everything. Basically, if you got a boppy or some towels, just get it close to a window, diffuse it as much as possible. You want to get the baby's head elevated. Oh, a couple other things. You want to make sure it's warm. If you're doing this for your friend or something, you want to make sure the room is warm. Babies are more comfortable and sleeping. Sometimes you don't have to have it as warm if you're holding them because they got your body heat. But when you're laying them down like that, make it like 80 degrees in the room, and the babies will do so much better. And then if you want, you can do some white noise or the Shusher app. I've got a Shusher app that imitates noises from the womb. So you're just creating a nice atmosphere for them with white noise, the warmth, and then you want to have the right light and the right angle. Okay, before I end this video, I just want to show you a few images on the screen here. This is called a froggy pose, and this is by photographer Anna Brandt, who is a famous photographer. I mean, people fly in from all over the world to get pictures from her, and she's in California. She teaches. She's just phenomenal. Anyway, this is her froggy pose, and this picture is just an illustration of something that you wouldn't want to try at home. A lot of these pictures, you're seeing them and they just look so natural and they look so beautiful, and you think, well, I could do that. But this really would be unsafe because the baby is actually being held the whole time. So this is a composite. So what would happen is maybe Anna had this picture, her camera, and her assistant's holding the baby's head up here. She snaps the picture, and then she would come here, and the assistant would hold the baby's chin, and they'd take a picture. And then Anna would go ahead and take those two pictures together. You know, you're erasing part of it, you're lining them up, and then you're erasing part of it, and till you see both of it to where you don't see a hand. So that's a composite, and that's just not something I would ever try at home. And matter of fact, I've never the reason I'm showing you a picture from Anna Brandt is because I've never tried it, because I don't have an assistant and I don't feel safe with it. And I think it's beautiful, and at the same time I don't think it's natural, because I don't think a baby would ever lay like that. So because a baby cannot, there's no way a baby can hold up its head with its little hands like that. Now I'll show you some pictures that I've taken of a couple boy babies. Now this is baby Ezekiel. This picture is completely natural. He is laying here and he is sleeping, and I'm not touching him at all. This is the honey bucket. It's nice and deep, and he's down inside there. He's got his diaper on still, and I just got this little baby quilt around him, and he was sleeping. He was actually really tired at this point. And I got the studio really warm at this point too, and he was sleeping great. This next picture here, he's still pretty natural. I was able to take this picture. He was actually holding his head up. I don't know if you can tell that he's kind of just leaning his head on this other arm. And I was able to take that picture fairly easy. There was no composite necessary for it at all. Now we go down to this picture here, and this one, I did have my hand on him, but he was pretty solid in this. So I was able to take my hand, it was just like a finger holding it, and I was able to take that away real quick, take the picture, and put my hand right back. He didn't flinch, didn't move or anything, so I didn't have to do a composite there again either. Now this is baby Jackson. You can see where he's comfortable here. He still needed my hand real close, so I was able to take my finger away just for a brief second. Here, he's laying there naturally, and you can tell I kind of was able to pull back just a little bit to be able to grab that picture. But he is naturally laying there like this. But for this here picture of baby Jackson, this was photoshopped. So in real life, my finger was right here. Every time I tried to, he was naturally like this. He was sleeping great. He was so cozy. But if I moved, his little head would tilt just a little bit. And so what I did was I just went ahead and took the picture with my finger up here, and then I photoshopped it out. And then I did purposely leave the background darker because of that. And, it's easier to do if you do have an assistant that's able to do it. But I love this shot. And this is, like I've said before, this is one of my favorite. And I just love his little finger, his little lips resting there. I just think it's a beautiful shot. So, if you're going to try anything like that at home, and you feel like you could even get a little bucket and all that, you're just going to have to be really careful to keep the baby safe, and just realize that somebody's hand is on the baby at all times. And it's if you don't have the software to Photoshop, it's just that's the type of thing. It's just way better to leave it to someone that's worked with babies and does professional shots. And before I get off here, I'll show you a couple more shots. I was talking about the light, the light coming in, and it just sort of the way that you got it falling, and you can do a nice side profile. And this one here, you're getting a good picture of his little nose and his lips, and that's just a little macro shot there. But you can tell the light there. And it kind of gets all of these just kind of give you an idea of where the light is hitting. Like for this here shot, I had to actually move the light because I had moved him. So I just moved the light to over here to grab that picture. And here's one last thing you can try.
This is the studio. When I'm working with strobes, you can have the lights on because the strobe light overpowers the ambient light. So you can tell in this picture that there's a little bit of background there. So I took this picture like this, and this is just a black backdrop on the dad's lap, and he's holding that baby up, and you can see the light come from this side. But because there's not a lot of light over here, it just helps that to look darker. So this is unedited, and then here we have, this one is where the edit is. So here I did go in and add some exposure to it, bring the blacks down and then add the lights, but you're taking away, you can see the difference here. So you could see dad holding her, and then here you're just adding some exposure to it. Oh, and I just love her little skin. It was all flaky. That's just what happened. She was a little bit like almost a month old, and that's what happens when you wait to have pictures taken, because they start getting baby acne and the little flaky skin, and sometimes they get the colic. So that's why we always say we try to do it in the first 2 weeks. But I just thought she was beautiful, and I love that bright red hair sticking up like that.
So I hope that helped. Like I said, don't do this in place of getting professional pictures for your newborn, because I think they're so worth it. They're worth the investment. They do cost more than going out and getting the mini session, but it's one of those investments. I just think, you're getting married, you want somebody professional to take these pictures. You have a newborn, this is a once in a lifetime thing, so it's well worth it. But also, it's well worth it to document the baby every day for that first month, for that first year. So happy shooting. If you got any questions, let me know. Hit me up and ask me anything. So I think that's it for this week. Hope you have a good week. See you next time. Don't forget, hit like and subscribe. Bye.